Well, folks, things are broken beyond my control. The main thing this video is about actually happened over a month ago, and I wanted to see if it would naturally be quote-unquote fixed. Even though really I did absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever for it to be broken. For whatever reason, the PlayStation Plus subscription that I had set to auto-renew for the last 9 years, literally since 2015, didn't auto-renew this time. I have no idea why. It's the same credit card it's always been. Same address, same everything. There's no reason why I didn't auto-renew. Except for, honestly, I think that it didn't auto-renew because, from my understanding, I was getting the same price. I locked it in of that price from 9 years ago. And because of corporate greed, they just cancel it for no reason whatsoever. As I'm sure you all know, PlayStation Plus has actually gone up in price for those who get it year by year, and yeah, and I've said it for, well, at this point, over 9 years. Before I even had a YouTube channel, I'd said on GT Planet or whatever it may be, that it's not worth paying the video game company money to play online when you have to pay for online to begin with. That's just even more corporate greed and all that. But yet I still did it because there was really no other choice, I guess is the best way to put it. But at this point, I had no choice. It literally just ended because I was getting a 9-year better value than the last 9 years, however you want to put it. I don't really feel like trying to figure out what's going on. I'm just tired at this point. It's kind of been the trend of this year, maybe, for more how to some point late 2023 or so. It's just everybody's kind of come to a general consensus that nothing is genuine, nothing is sincere anymore. It's all just capitalism to make all the money possible. Happiness be damned. And I mean, this is just where we are now. Money is over everything, over happiness, over fan support, over loyalty, over anything. It's all about money now. There's no reason whatsoever they were to cut off this, and they did. I didn't even really want to pay for it to begin with. Yeah, I could just pay the new money for it, but it's way too exorbitantly expensive for paying to play online. Yeah, you may be thinking, oh, look, all these games you get with it. Okay. I mean, that's alright. For like the month they become available. Maybe just for getting it like that month and trying them out. But when you think about it, paying a way too high monthly fee for these games for 9 years, granted I'm not going to act like I downloaded all of them that were available, I downloaded the ones I want. If you really think about it, ain't very good. It really ain't, folks. I didn't really pay that much attention, but I think that's 38 games in 9 years. So yeah, that's kind of pitiful. Really, if you think about it, paying insane amounts. I would continue PlayStation Plus if I was allowed to, but it ended. I don't know why, I don't know how. It's been like that for a month. Again, I was seeing if they fix it. And also, I wouldn't be continuing it for all that long. I mean, as I've said now for quite a while, general goal would be to try and get Gran Turismo into the Paralympics. If Gran Turismo ever gets into the Paralympics, sure, I get online again to do events for that. Theoretically, the best way to go about that would be time trials, and I wouldn't really need it anyway, but if it does happen, be directly race against other people, so be it and all that, but just, yeah. It's really about the only way at this point that would actually make me pay the exorbitant amounts it is. Remember in the not even necessarily good old days, because they were still corrupt even back then, but better old days, I guess is the best way to put it. And PlayStation actually specifically said that they were going to not make it where you have to pay to play online, because Xbox did that first. They specifically said that at one point in time. And then they lied. On to kind of the next point. Remember how Forza Motorsport said that the game was built from the ground up? And then they lied. Yeah, I could just play Xbox, actually have the point save up from doing the tasks and all that, to get the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Which realistically, that's the way to go about doing the points, is yes, I could pay for the last amount of points to get it to where I have access to online, but then I wouldn't have access towards Motorsport, and then I could get it to where I could access Forza Motorsport, but then not play online. The best of both situations is to just get the whole thing as well. The whole thing actually includes EA in there too, and then maybe Skate 3 clips, depending on how things go in there too. So yeah. As I said earlier in the video, PlayStation lied about making it to where they weren't going to have it be pay to play. But at least Xbox having it pay to play online if you want. Xbox also has the thing where you can do the tasks and such, and then you don't actually have to pay money to even get the Ultimate. Granted, you have to pretty much do everything available, pretty much. Not 100%, but I'd say at least 90% of what's available per month to actually be able to have enough per month to be able to continue getting the Ultimate per month. And I mean, realistically, it's probably doing about 2 hours divided like per day or whatever. 2 hours in 30 days and then day by day to get to that. And it's like a $16 thing or something like that. I've never actually paid for the Xbox Ultimate. I've done the task each time. But anyway, yeah, what I'm saying is it's not really quite to what the minimum wage is or whatever, but it's not bad. It's not too far off it. It's just one of where I still do it anyway because I don't want to give money to Xbox more than absolutely quote-unquote necessary. Obviously, video games aren't that right necessary, but you get what I mean. Like, to actually get the console in the first place to play the game is pretty much where I'm going with that. And then that kind of gets to the third point, too, is that apparently consoles in and of themselves are becoming obsolete or something stupid like that. Xbox is doing it to where they're going to end up not having any exclusives. Yay, that's actually a good thing. But from what it sounds like, both consoles aren't really even so much being made anymore. They're definitely not doing a disc drive anymore, but I mean, I've said it myself. For people that actually play the disc games a whole heck of a heap, more often than not, the discs seem to wear out. If you're going to get a game and you know you're going to play it a whole heck of a heap, to me it's actually better to get the digital copy. Because I'd say literally about half, say it generally is about half, of the games I played more than, say, 100 hours that were the disc burnt out or didn't work or whatever after time. A 50% rate. Some of them I bought again, some of them I didn't. It just depended on the individual. But yeah, for me it's about a 50%. And that's from PS2 to PS4. As early as Gran Turismo 4 quit working to as late as Gran Turismo Sport quit working and all that in between. I actually did a video about GT Sport quit working on the channel. You can go back and look at that. So, I mean, the way that I see it anymore is the only time I'm going to spend actual real money on a game anymore is if I'm going to play it a lot, because the economy is just that bad. Thanks everything, no one in particular, everything kind of combines that. But thanks worldwide problems. You can take what I mean by worldwide problems as you may, but yeah. The world ain't as dandy as it used to be. As I said, everything's inauthentic and just, I don't. This is not the peak of the world right now, I'll put it like that. It's not been the peak of the world now for going on half a decade. AI is cool. It's I mean, I've already made a video of AI. Actually, that one's on Library and Politics. So it's be somewhat of a touchy subject. It would probably even get me in trouble on YouTube. You can go look at that. But essentially, yeah, I mean, I embrace AI because I pretty much must. Yeah, I took information technology in college, and that's essentially a dead field now, unless you already have quite a lot of experience. I would say at least 10, 15 years or so of job security in there. It's pretty much a dead field, and I'm not old enough to have 10 or 15 years of job security. So, yeah, I'm screwed with that. But I was probably screwed before anyway from having cerebral palsy video that is on the channel, life story and other things like that. So, dwindled my chance of actually getting a legitimate job, not just getting hired because of Disabilities Act of 1990 and then being the absolute slowest there if I ever did get hired, which is extremely low chance. Before it went from probably about 95% chance of not getting hired. And then again, if I did, it would be from the Disabilities Act thing too. Now it's about a 99% chance. And that doesn't necessarily mean keeping a job either. And that almost certainly does mean working from home, which means then I would have to spend my own money to upgrade the internet and probably the laptop and all that kind of other stuff too. And because I'm just so slow at doing things and do the things pretty accurately. I got decent grades in college and stuff, but just physically slow at doing it. I can't really help that. The chances of actually keeping that job again would be quite low unless I went through the Disabilities Act 1990. But yeah, from that 95% that I did a video about before, I did that video before all the AI stuff, now it's about 99%. So yes, even with this going on, can't plan life without paying exorbitantly more money than I have for the last 9 years. This is still the best way of going about things. I mean, all things considered, yeah, it kind of is complaining about first world problems. I'm not going to deny that. As much as the world in general is not in the best place, I mean, I'm still in a good place relative to the entire world. I'm not going to deny that. America, you can make a debate of where it is compared to its peak and all that, but I mean, let's face it, folks. If I had cerebral palsy in probably over half the countries in the world, I wouldn't be able to have anything resembling a career. At least with this, I can kind of do what ifs and stuff like that. What if library didn't get unfairly screwed over by the government? What if Gran Turismo was added to the Olympics? I can still go along the what ifs. And arguably the majority of the world, if I was in that part, there would be no what if. I'd be screwed. That's, all in all, a very important thing is just, I'm aware that relative to probably over half the population on the planet, and especially just everyone even watching this video, the vast majority of population to ever exist. Let's face it, technology is cool. Even if quality of life relative to like the money the richest are making compared to what you're making or whatever is lower than at periods of history, technology is cool. No matter who you are, most likely watching this video, you have it better off than the vast majority of people in the history of time, like counting literally all of time. This is complaining about first world problems, and I get that. I still stand by that even though Gran Turismo is parody of real simulation racing esports, and Sony and PlayStation Studios and now all that you want to word it is seemingly more corrupt than ever, and there's massive inflation, and then there's worldwide conflicts and environment if you want to look into all that other stuff too. The more I talk, the more it becomes opinions and stuff. But, yeah. I still stand by this as the best career path I could have gone by. Yeah, this sucks. There's no denying that. That means that I'm not going to be racing in the video game that I tried to make a career out of again. Probably not. I can still do qualifying for the weekly races, and I can race against the PS4 level AI, but yeah, no. And I can still do jelly car videos and stuff like that. That's cool enough. Like, if a new car is added and if it can do jelly, I can do that. But I mean, that's kind of a derivative of the same thing. People like that, I like that all right, but I mean, that is a derivative of the same thing. There's no denying that. If I do a jelly car video for every update for all of time, people are going to gradually not like that as much time. I mean, I've literally been doing a jelly car stuff for every update that has a jelly car for the most part for 6 years now. Like, even in GT Sport Closed Beta, I did jelly cars, so I think to some extent it's even over 6 years now. That's going to be where there's changes. Forza Motorsport has changed some things. Tentatively speaking, I will play it for a month, I think, and go from there. I'm not really expecting anything amazing from it. I'm hoping for it to be pretty good. I'll play it for a month. I'll do videos on it, not necessarily positive videos, not necessarily even going to get tons of clips out of it. I'll see how it goes. Not expecting all that much. They're still doing the fear of missing out. The limited time cars that you can get as a reward, you still can't even buy from the dealership or whatever it's called for Forza, where you buy cars from. Still can't do that. That was my biggest issue, and it's still not fixed. And what they've kind of done is they've just made it to where there's less cars that qualify for that, but I mean, that just means less overall content to the game, and that ain't dandy either. I mean, even the content that we did get, like Daytona, both the oval and the road course, still ain't exactly looking the dandiest. They still kind of look like just a rehash of the old models, even of the track, not just of the cars, but with tracks as well. Like the dimensions and stuff like that. So, yeah. When the two main games that I was going to play were both still extremely underwhelming, quite a lot after that round, especially in GT7's case. It ain't the Danish, especially when one of the two of them I can't even play online without paying an exorbitant amount of money, and I really don't feel like paying, especially because if I can just do the Xbox thing and then do the tasks and stuff to get it for free and all that and play the newer of the two games, is it the better of the two games? They're both way worse than they should have been. I'll put it like that. They're both way worse than they should have ever been. That's the most straightforward way to put that. And yet they both got Racing Game of the Year. Wow, GT7 in 2022, Forza basically 8 in 2023 got both consecutive Racing Game of the Year. Like, if you would have said that in a vacuum, like you tell someone that 15 years ago and the GT got Racing Game of the Year 1 year and then Forza the next year, that makes sense. But tell someone that 5 years ago and they would laugh you out of the room. They'd laugh you out of there. But, yeah, it's the world we live in. And again, the world in general is, it's kind of declining on average compared to what it was, say, that 15 years ago or so. Depending on how you want to word it. Or I guess 15 years ago in the U.S. was more recession still. But let's say 10 years ago for U.S. standards. But, yeah. And I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I mean, this is live. Like, look. It's live, it's not. And the internet is screwing up too because there were storms. That's somewhat irrelevant to the situation. It was doing this for a month now anyway. There were storms. And then we didn't get it too bad. But, whatever, that's irrelevant. To end off, the main point is that, yeah, there's changes. There's not going to be direct, like, new Gran Turismo racing. I have plenty of old clips from GT Sport still, but I kind of wanted to end off GT Sport on a positive, despite the game itself being quite negative. I still really do believe that. As much as the good moments the game brought, on average, it was very much underwhelming. As I said, in its best of days, which granted the very last day, at least in the US. Granted, it sounded like Europe kind of got screwed over with the online service on the last day. But at least maybe on the very last day, it was actually maybe one of GG Sports' best days. Game's about a 6 out of 10. When it had online. Without online, it's better than some were thinking, and to an extent, me included. I did a video about that way back when, like before the game came out, once it was announced that it was online. I kind of did a video discussing that, and it ultimately kind of went the way that I said it. I was expecting that we would still be able to have a basic livery editor. I don't understand why we don't have at least a basic livery editor, but whatever, it's somewhat water bridge, at least not Ubisoft, but I mean, there's that too. Oh, I could just play the Crew 2. That one's pretty much the same online or offline, because online anyway, and I don't do PvP. I've never actually, well, that's not true. I haven't done PvP in the Crew 2 since like 2018, and I had no plans. Dude, anyway, so you can play the Crew 2, and it basically looks the same. The Crew 2 got its last update, so that's done now. And I was very much on the fence buying Motorfest, but I decided not to buy Motorfest because I already got quite a bit of clips from the betas. And by the time I used up the clips on that putting them on sites, it was announced that the Crew 1 was getting its online completely shut down and made it to where the game was quite literally, or gonna be on the 31st, whatever. Was made that it will be unplayable. Like, literally unplayable. Not, you can't do the online bits. The game literally won't even start. Like, as far as I understand it, come April 1st, and no, that's not an April Fool's dog, it literally ends March 31st is the last day, so April 1st would literally be when it happens. About all you get is maybe the start sequence, like the intro. I think that's literally all you would get. You wouldn't even be able to go beyond the menu screen. The game that some people paid upwards of $100 for if you got all the DLCs, I think. $60 for original game. Wild Run, I think, was $20. I think there might have been a little something in there, too, for maybe like $5. I can't remember the exact thing, but it's like there was a minor thing and then another big one later of calling all units that was kind of pointless because you could actually do the bulk of the calling all unit stuff about buying the DLC, but whatever. And there was probably even like Ultimate Editions and stuff like that when the game came out too. People probably ended up buying the Crew credits and all that thing. Not even counting the buying the macrotransactions, which was getting in the realm of macrotransactions with Crew 2. It wasn't quite as bad as CC7 was at any point, but getting towards that realm, that's for sure. But anyway, the point being, not even counting the borderline macrotransactions to Crew 2, people probably still paid at least some upwards of $150. Well, I was talking about the Crew 1. But Crew 2 is going to get the same thing. That's but anyway, for both of them, people probably paid upwards of $150. I'm here to play. Yeah, but anyway, the point being is I'm definitely not buying the Crew Motorfest now on any console, not buying it. If it happens to be on Game Pass for free on a month where I'm doing it anyway, then cool, I'll play it on there. Because as far as I understand it, the Ubisoft account is for all consoles, so I can transfer the cards from the Crew 2 to Xbox. Fine, from how I understand it. And actually, now that I think about it, I did in the beta anyway, so yeah, I might already be there, so cool. But I'm not paying money for a game that I know for a fact that down the line I won't be able to play. That's for sure, folks, that's for sure. It's something that I'm just never gonna do. So, yeah, I mean, with all that considered, the true changes are that, yeah, I mean, it's a net negative, no doubt about that, in terms of the content, but, I mean, technically it's positive. Now I'm saving money. I'm not paying the of the same price I did 9 years ago, whatever. I'm not paying anything for it. I mean, yeah, I'm net saving money. But it's more of the morals of it than anything, is that I did not tell it to cancel. And yet it did. Actually, when the internet's working, I could go to this and it wouldn't even completely load too. And I have a picture of that too, that maybe if I think about it, I'll use as a thumbnail for this video. I'll see how that goes. And go from there. Yeah, probably that is what I'll do. Probably. I'll see. Yeah, I might just use that picture of the thumbnail. So what I'm talking about now is what's in the thumbnail, what's not what's on screen. But anyway, yeah, it doesn't actually, even when the internet is working, it doesn't even load all the way. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't actually even buy the PlayStation Plus from first party. It's not done banned or anything either. I didn't get any notification whatsoever of being banned at all. And it happened the same month, too, that I went. In hindsight, it made me remember, too. Yeah, it was around the second week of February in 2015 when I got it. So that's just when it does auto-renew anyway. So it didn't. It's not me banned or anything like that. It's literally just they don't want me getting the discount anymore. But I can't even actually get it first party if I wanted to. I have to actually go and get the codes or whatever it may be, which is even more work that I don't feel like doing. I can't actually just press this and do it even when the internet is working. And the picture of that is the thumbnail. So yeah, I mean, there'll probably be some Forza coming up. I think the way they'll end up doing it is I have a few clips left from the Crew 2. I'm not saying that I won't ever play the Crew 2 again. It's just that it got its final update and I did a little bit with that. So there's not really much need to. I mean, I already bought the game anyway, so if I would have known I wouldn't be able to play it all, maybe I wouldn't have bought it. I don't know. See on that. But, I have it anyway, so I'm probably going to play it more at some point. It's just a crap suit of whether to be clipped or not. Wreckfest, I mean, there's only so much I can do in that game. It might even be 6 years old. I think it's getting near 6 years old now, Wreckfest is, yeah. So there's only so much I can really do there. I mean, there's other games I bought other than obviously the Gran Turismo's too. Of any of the games that you've seen like on the channel before that aren't through PlayStation Plus, you can leave the comments if you want to see stuff. I mean, GTA, most of those clips were online based towards the end anyway. There's not really much thing to do offline. I guess there's the editor thing, but I mean, I pretty much used that up of what there is. GTA is pretty much waiting to 6 at this point. Or other miscellaneous games, just put them in the comments if you want to see it. I mean, I can do of other games I physically bought. I mean, there's still actually a set of Forza and NASCAR Heat 5 as well that I bought a while ago that I haven't actually had any clips on yet. There's just not really much truly unique to do there. Maybe I can do jelly cars with them. That's really about all I can think to actually do there, because again, it wouldn't actually be playing online. And then Xbox, I've not actually physically bought any games for Xbox Series S. I've just been using for what's on the Game Pass. Because mainly what I would play anyway would be Xbox Ultimate through doing the task, and that includes Forzas. I wish it included more Forzas, but it's Horizon 4. I don't see much point in playing that anymore. Horizon 5, plenty of clips on that on Over in Odyssey. Nothing about what there is there to do. I mean, maybe more. If you leave in the comments you got it. Is 8, like I said, yeah, I'll do that for about a month and go from there. And then there's also Skate 3, kind of the same for Wreckfest. Good game, old game, not much more to do there. And then Flight Simulator, I look for stuff. I thought about looking for the old abandoned racetracks and stuff on there, kind of like I do with quote unquote Deep Forest and stuff. No guarantees anything with that. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, the main changes is, yeah, there'll probably be some Forza videos. It's utter crapsuit of what there actually be. because the game just ain't exactly the dandiest. There could be a lot of videos, there could be not that much, it might just be rants, who knows, it would probably be something or another in a bit, but at least for like the next week or so, probably just be finishing off of what there is for now, the Crew 2 Wreckfest. Maybe a little bit of 2K in there too, but remember NBA 2K23 was through PlayStation Plus. There are a few clips left of that, but not playing that anymore. Anyway, but actually, now that I think about it, for truly really enough, 2K24 is actually on the Game Pass now. So, get the Ultimate Game Pass, then play that too. Or rant about it, or whatever, probably. So, that would go. So, yeah, there's that. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's what the future's going to hold, is be playing the extremely underwhelming Forza game, and the game that actually kind of most universally known. Terrible now than ever. It's been terrible for a long time. It seems like it's more universally known now than ever. NBA 2K24, like, people could even tell that was going to be terrible even before it came out. So, yeah. That's what the future holds. Again, yeah, I could pay money, but I mean, it's morals more than anything. They shouldn't have ended it. Yeah, I guess I was technically getting a quote-unquote discount price, but I mean, they were literally lying about that. They have been for probably 10 plus years now, lying about that. There's genuine clips out there that you can find pretty easily that even PlayStation executives, high people, who I don't remember exactly who it was, but it was very much high up and official, said that they were not going to have people pay to play online because Xbox was doing that. Xbox is still doing that. They never quit doing that, and yet PlayStation is for a long time now making you pay to play online. I've ranted about that for pretty much as long as I've been on the internet posting stuff about myself. So yeah, that's no idea, but I mean, yeah, it's first world problems. I'm not gonna deny that, really. But I'm also living in the first world, so those problems affect it. I've done talks about that before. It's new iterations of the same old talks. I mean, that's kind of what the videos are, a derivative of the same thing. Like I said, well, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I enjoy it for a little bit. Y'all enjoy it for a little bit. Everything's kind of just going to be derivative of the same thing. Forza 8, I mean, I haven't actually directly had anything competing against people online, but I mean, there's still a connection. Issue for all that stuff are all back game. I don't think it's going to go too well. I don't have the best internet when the games actually cooperate well. Forza doesn't seem like the type of game that cooperates well. So, well, yeah, there's that. It's derivative of the same thing. Like I've said from the very beginning, is all the videos that I have some type of purpose or another. They're not just on there to be filler. I can genuinely say this with confidence. I've not uploaded any videos as true filler ever. They truly all have some purpose or another, and I will continue that forever. I genuinely am not going to do filler videos, no matter how successful or unsuccessful I get. Online, I don't really believe in the filler type videos. Especially now when you can use AI to enhance other stuff and all that too. Someone's doing truly filler video now of how easy AI things is to make videos. That, yeah, that said something about that individual person there. But anyway, yeah. Then off, yeah, to sum it up, more Forza clips. I ain't going to say how many. In the near future, for the immediate future, would be Crew 2, Wreckfest, a little bit of 2K23, I think. And then GT7 as always goes, but if it's a good weekly race and I can do good in it, then I will do qualifying for it. But I mean, the views of that kind of thing go down, and rightfully so. The game is old, and people get the tutorials up pretty quick now, too. Granted, one thing that I've been able to capitalize is because mine is literally direct footage, is I can get mine out maybe an hour or two before the earliest of the tutorials due for the time trials. But I mean, technically time trials, but mainly qualifying for the weekly races. So, I mean, that's a nits. I'm not going to downright brag, but as far as I can tell, I usually am the first one to get something out of a relative to the best time at the time, good time, like relative to the time it'd be in the top 5 or 10 or whatever in the world. But I mean, I get why the views are down across the board for that kind of stuff. It's an old game, and ultimately, people are going to run much better times later on. Just so I can run a relative to the top good time at the time with my time. If that makes sense. Hopefully, it does. But I mean, yeah, that would still continue to extend. But again, derivative of the same thing. It's the new thing enough to where it's worth having, but there's not much truly new out there. I mean, yes, if I have Game Pass, technically speaking, I can actually play a game that's never been on the channel whatsoever. But if no one's interested in that, not me interested in playing it, not y'all interested in seeing it, then that's pointless to have a new thing if no one's actually interested in the new thing. If people are more interested in the derivative of the same thing, and it's still fun to do, derivative of the same thing some of the time, then I'll do that over a new thing that no one's interested in any of the time. So yeah, with that, that's kind of the changes. I mean, you could argue here are the new chains, same as the old chains, blah blah blah, sort of thing, because it is a derivative of the same. I mean, there ain't really that many videos of Forza 8 on the channel yet, so that's kind of different, but there's only so much I can really do with the game, and I don't surely even know how much that is. So, yeah, I mean, again, if y'all have any ideas for the games that I already have bought, I mean, if y'all can even make ideas of the other games on the Game Pass that I could do something with, then maybe I'll consider it and go from there. But for now, yeah, obviously this is a net negative for the channel. I'm not going to sugarcoat that, but I mean, morals are worth more than forcing out content that's like of what become the norm for humanity now. It's just disingenuous and capitalistic greed and all that. I'm not in it for the capitalistic greed. Yeah, I'd like this to be a career and all that because this is honestly still the best career path, given that, like I said, I think it's genuine that I don't have more than about a 1% chance to actually have a true career. Like a traditional career, whatever you want to call it. Even that ain't really traditional because it almost have to be like 99% of the 99% that would be working from home, so that ain't exactly traditional in and of itself. And y'all know how slow my internet is, and I've talked about how old my laptop is, so that's more. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Still the best career path given the circumstances. I'm still happy that I have the circumstances I have. I'm not going to deny that. Just I'm also not going to deny that circumstances are worse than they were through no fault of my own. That happens a lot. Things end up worse than they were through no fault of my own. I've been used to that now for a quarter century plus. But yeah. NBA 2K24, very much derivative of the same damn thing again. Forza 8, it's arguably just the worst of the things. And then just the ending of what I already had of Career Wreckfest 2K23. Stuff like that. And then at this point, almost guaranteed derivative of the same. Qualifying for weekly races in GT7. Rarely ever do we execute a truly new weekly race anymore. So yeah, the changes are just derivatives of the same, but in a different way, sort of, kinda. Not particularly worth the EHA, but I mean, for those of y'all that like Forza, there will be Forza. I don't know how much. Because the game is not exactly the dandiest. Situation ain't the dandiest, but I mean, again, first world problems and all that, relative to everything, especially of all of time. Still worth the yeehaw, but there's no denying that no matter the time, it's still less of a yeehaw than the peak of times. No matter how you want to word that. So yeah, take that as you may, and yeehaw depending on how you want to word it in circumstances and such, I guess, folks, and things. Yeehawish.